Should you change yourself to be a better date? And can a woman recover from a narcissistic relationship to have a fulfilling, happy relationship in the future? Those are the questions we are answering today. Welcome to Ask Mark. It is week number 36. Loving this segment. Make sure you leave your questions, comments, thoughts at the end of the video as well down below, and hit that big red subscribe button so that you get to see more of my videos. Let's get straight into it with the first fascinating question, and it comes from Melek Ozivitz, who says, I have a question. We should not, oh, by the way, before I get started, this is on the 10 mistakes not to make on a first date video. Melek says, we should not do all these things on a date, but we should also be ourselves. So what if I am naturally negative or talk too much? And then I pretend on a date how I am cool. Sooner or later, the guy will see the real me. You know, I put a big focus on personal development in this channel. I think the way to be more attractive and to fulfill yourself as you're becoming a better date is to grow yourself. And that's why I love this question, because it really touches on that. Because what Melek has done here, what you've done, Melek, and for you out there, is a classic personal development mistake. You've taken the things you do, your habits, which you probably started when you were 12, and gotten so good at them that you've done them for so long that you don't remember yourself any other way. In other words, you've made it part of who you are. Instead of saying, I have been negative, you say, I am negative. You've absorbed it as part of your identity. And with unhelpful habits, that's a mistake. It's not going to help you in your dating. So Melek, what you've done here is you've gone, I am this way. I can't change myself, Mark, because I'm not this way. Melek, I'm constantly in the process of changing myself. But the important thing here is this. You do it for you. You don't do it for the guys or to be a better date, because then you're looking for their validation and you're living in someone else's reality. You do it for yourself. I'm always looking to improve my mental health. So I'm always thinking, how can I be more empowered? How can I take more control and put more focus on the things that I can control in my life? How can I be more grateful every day? I'm always trying to work these patterns. You know, I'm seeing Tony Robbins tomorrow, which I'm super excited for. One of the things I love about seeing him, even though I know most of his content, is I love seeing the way he works through problems. Right? We go to a stadium to watch an athlete who's trained for 10, 15 years to be a master. We just love watching the skill. When you watch Tony Robbins sort through someone's problem, you see the way he thinks about it, and I love that skill. He's just trained himself for so long in there that those positive wires are like superconductors in his brain. There's no victim wires at all in there, right? So in little situations, you know, myself, I'm always looking to, I was at the airport recently, and I was finding myself frustrated because lots of people behind me in the queue were getting pulled forward and it was making me late. And I realized, wait a minute, I'm playing a victim in this scenario. I could call the girl myself. I could actually get to the airport on time for a change. I could ask the person in front of me to go ahead of them. Even in little situations like this every day, I'm looking to improve my mental health. And this is something that I absolutely encourage for my clients, Melek, and it's something I'd encourage for you. Don't change your habits because a guy wants you to or because you think you'll be a better date. That's a nice side effect, don't get me wrong, but change your habits because you want to foster great mental health within yourself. If you're feeling like you're negative all the time, then I don't know about you, but for me, I'd be thinking, I don't want to be negative all the time. I want to learn to have positive mental habits and absorb those into my psyche. So Melek, don't let negativity define who you are. It's not, it's just a habit you've adopted and you can change it if you want to. Now the second thing you mentioned was you talk too much. And that's a bit of an interesting one, isn't it? Because it's a bit more complex. Should you talk less? Well, are you being rude? That's a simple question I'd pose there. If you're finding that the amount of talking you're doing is being inconsiderate of others or rude, then that might be something you want to change for yourself. And if I was getting that feedback for the world, that's something I'd want to change for myself. As opposed to if you're a talkative person, but you're still considerate, you're still listening, letting people get a word in, you're still empathizing, why would you want to change that? Don't change that. So go, do I want to change this for me? Is this something that is having a negative effect on the world and I want to change this for me so that I can feel better within myself and also as a side effect have more positive effects on all those who are around me and who I meet. I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to grow your social skills, and perhaps learning to listen a bit more and talk a bit less might be the ticket for you, Melek. But only you will know that. Good question though, great question about not absorbing your habits, especially the ones that aren't helpful, into your identity. As soon as they're in your identity, they become bloody hard to change. I'll tell you to change them, you'll be resistant because you know, this is part of my identity, Mark, I can't change it. No, it's not. It's just a bad habit. Second question is from Dodie Doodles. Dodie Doodles. Mark, when a woman has engaged in a long-term relationship with a narcissist, what do you think her chances are of having a successful relationship again? Even after therapy, anyone who has been with a narcissist knows the lasting damage it does to the psyche. How can one not let that affect their relationships, their perceptions in another relationship? Great question, Dodie Doodles. And the answer is that it's their responsibility, your responsibility, if you've been in this case, to not let it affect those future relationships. You can't change the past. You have to forgive yourself for what happened in the past and understand you were doing the best that you knew how to do at the time. Now you know better. Now you've learned your lesson, which means it's your responsibility to not let that past repeat itself. Depending how much work you do, and depending how, you know, the different means that you take on is going to determine rather, how fast your self-esteem recovers and how capable you are of having a loving relationship in the future. But that's completely on you. You know, if you just do therapy once a fortnight and that's the only action you take, frankly, that's not that much action. If you read a book once a week, if you're going to seminars, if you're meeting different types of men everywhere, you're going to, you know, working on yourself and your self-esteem, your own life, you're going to recover a lot more quickly. So it's really up to you and it's your responsibility. You know, I can't speak for every woman in these situations, and obviously there's some situations that are far more toxic than others. But one thing that every one of these situations have in common is that once you're out of them, it's your responsibility to not let history repeat itself. And you've got to do whatever means necessary to stop that happening. Obviously, this is something I work a lot with clients on, and we go into all sorts of depths in terms of their particular problem. But without a specific situation, the biggest thing you need to know is that absolutely, abso-fucking-lutely, you can have a happy, fulfilling relationship in the future, but it's going to be on you to make that happen. Well, that's Ask Mark. Bit of a shorter one for today, but thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the questions. Let me know your thoughts, leave your comments, questions, etc. below, as you always do. Give the video a big thumbs up and hit that big red subscribe button. I would love, love, love if you could tell your friends about the channel. Thank you for watching, and again, let me know more questions for Ask Mark in the future. Pop them below, and I'll see you in the next video very soon.